I am Dr. Charles Yarish. I am a professor at the University of Connecticut's Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. I would like to introduce you today to the cultivation of Gracilaria, a red seaweed. This short course on cultivation is being brought to you by ATEX Algae Culture Extension Short Course. It is hoped by the end of today's presentation, you'll have a better understanding how to culture Gracilaria and what are some of the economic uses of this commercially important red seaweed. When we look at Gracilaria, which is a red seaweed, is an important source of a compound called agar. Agar is a phycocolloid, is a gelling substance that has been used in the food industry, and it's also used in the biotech industry for growing microorganisms. Roughly 53% of the world agar market comes from the cultivation of Gracilaria and related species. The countries where Gracilaria is being grown include China, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and there is some production of Gracilaria in tank-based systems in North America, principally for the food market. When we look at Gracilaria, it's the economic value that is very important. And the economic value depends on the application for agar, and there are many multiple grades of agar depending on the use of the agar, and biotechnology provides the highest value for this agar. You can use Gracilaria as a sea vegetable, and there's a vibrant sea vegetable industry where Gracilaria is being grown. Matter of fact, in the United States and Hawaii, Gracilaria has been eaten for centuries, and the species of Gracilaria called limu. But right now, for looking at global production, Gracilaria is principally being eaten in Asian countries. Also, the agar can be utilized for animal feeds, including fish feed, shrimp feed, and that's an important source of this agarophyte. Gracilarias are also very important in the ornamental aquarium plant industry. They can be put in fish tanks there, and fish love to eat the Gracilaria, and the colors of the fish are enhanced by eating the Gracilaria itself. Gracilaria has a lower value as a potential fertilizer, and some of the new higher technology applications of growing Gracilaria is for antiviral compounds, also compounds that are naturally occurring sunscreens called mycosporine-like amino acids. These are sunscreen compounds that come from some species of Gracilaria that are now being added to your cosmeceutical industry. And Gracilaria can also be used as a biofuel. So these are just some of the economic uses of Gracilaria that has a production value of over $1 billion and growing every year. Looking at Gracilaria in the marketplace, Asians have been using Gracilaria as an important food source for themselves and also as a gelling compound. And you can go onto the markets in Asian countries and you can see bricks of Gracilaria that can be used for making different types of puddings and jellies there. But what does Gracilaria look like? Well, it's a red seaweed. The darkness in the color of this red seaweed depends on the nitrogen content. So when you find Gracilaria growing, or if you are farming the Gracilaria in high nitrogen area, it will have a dark red or almost a brick red color, and that means it contains a high level of nitrogen. High levels of nitrogen means also a high protein content. So the Gracilaria species that is common in the New England area is called Gracilaria tigvii, and it is a native species of Gracilaria, native or endemic to the east coast of North America, extending as far south as the Gulf of Mexico and as far north into southern Maine. Gracilaria principally likes to grow during warm periods of the season, warm periods of the year, so that will restrict its cultivation. It's a warm, temperate crop. Well, how do you grow the Gracilaria? You can take your Gracilaria and fragment it and stick the fragments inside long lines that are suspended in the water column. So you see in front of you a Gracilaria crop there on these long lines. What is the depth of cultivation? It depends on the clarity of the water. Gracilaria doesn't need to have high light. It does better in low light. So we have actually cultivated Gracilaria in waters that are as turbid as New York's East River, but we also have grown Gracilaria in less turbid environments. And depending on how much light penetrates the water, you can grow it at different depths on these long lines. We like to suggest growing the Gracilaria roughly between 3 to 6 feet below the surface so it doesn't conflict with navigational use of the waterways, recreational boating. But in areas of Asia, there are just large bays that are doing nothing more than cultivating the Gracilaria. Here you can see the Gracilaria species being cultivated in China, and it's just a long raft there of the Gracilaria, and you can harvest the Gracilaria. It usually takes about anywhere from 16 days to 20 days to get a Gracilaria crop from a bunch of Gracilaria that may be no larger than your fist. 20-gram bunch can lead you to produce a Gracilaria that would be the size of a soccer ball. So the raft that you see there, that could be growth of the Gracilaria after 2.5 or 3 weeks. And there are many different species of Gracilaria. How do you isolate your Gracilaria strain for cultivation? You go out, you find some native Gracilaria in your location. You can take a cutting of the Gracilaria plant, and you clean the Gracilaria plant off by moving the Gracilaria plant through an agar surface, and that will remove epiphytes. There are other ways to take your fragments, but then you grow these fragments in a media. A media that we like to use is called Von Stosch seawater enrichment, and then you propagate your Gracilaria at different scales so you have a seed stock that you can eventually move onto your long lines by inserting small bundles of the Gracilaria into the long line. You can also grow Gracilaria in tank systems on land, similar to growing the chondrus on land. We have grown Gracilaria in tanks that are 1,000-liter tanks, 4,000-liter tanks, and these plants are very easily propagated by just fragmenting them and breaking them up, and they can have growth rates that are over 16 to 17% per day. And so you can see the different scales of production of the seed stock of the Gracilaria in the laboratory, in the 13-liter jugs, and you can see it, the Gracilaria in the 4,000-liter tank. As I said before, you can grow Gracilaria in open water systems there. The Gracilaria in the upper left-hand corner right there, those are small little bundles, 20-gram bundles of Gracilaria. And the image to the right shows the Gracilaria after 17 days of growth. Notice by growing the Gracilaria at the right position in the water column, there's no contaminating organism on the Gracilaria. And so those are soccer balls that were produced after 2.5 weeks of growth. So Gracilaria can grow very, very quickly. But beware, if you're growing Gracilaria in open water conditions, other organisms look at Gracilaria as a wonderful habitat. So an animal community can establish itself in a very short period of time, taking shelter in the Gracilaria. So you have to be careful. Once you harvest the Gracilaria, you have to shake it off, perhaps doing a freshwater rinse to get whatever animals are out of there. Because at warmer times of the year, many animals that find themselves getting a home in that Gracilaria bundle may be carrying particular pathogens for humans. One particular pathogen that is problematic that's been found with shellfish is a pathogen called Vibrio paralyticus that is spread by animals. And we have found Vibrio associated with the animal community, sometimes establishing itself with the Gracilarias. But you can clean your Gracilaria bundles and get them ready for extraction for agar, or you can take that Gracilaria and make a very nice seaweed salad. So you have a sea vegetable right there. This particular image here shows you the growth rates of Gracilaria that we have found in Long Island Sound. This is similar to growth rates in production systems in other areas of the world. But growth of the Gracilaria is dependent on the site, depends on the temperature of the water, light availability of the water, the salinity of the water. All very important in establishing where you're going to grow the Gracilaria. But once you grow the Gracilaria, you can have, as I said before, a food product, or you can use that as an opportunity to extract the agar from the Gracilaria itself. Now, this is an introduction to the cultivation of Gracilaria. Thank you very much.